Okay, let's get started, you guys. We have so much to talk about today, so many amazing things happening. So we're going to jump right in. Welcome to our September State of the Industry. And thank you guys for pivoting with us this month. I know that we're a week off from when we usually do this. And it was so great to see so many of you at Built How last week. So thank you guys for showing up at Built How. And thank you guys for being here today for our State of the Industry, as we have a ton of things to announce and a phenomenal presentation. So I am going to start today by saying, hi, I'm Katie Hardman. I am the COO of the Experience Brokerage Network, and I am joined by Leslie and Chris. Leslie, do you want to intro yourself?
Yes, I am Leslie Hilbert, General Manager of Keller Williams Experience Brokerage Network. As you know, encompasses 4 amazing Keller Williams market centers here in the state of Oregon. And we do this every single month by introducing ourselves, because every month we are growing. And this month, since the last time we had our State of the Industry, have welcomed 26 new family members to our XBN family. So welcome all of our new family members, and make sure you reach out to them, say hi, show them our love, show them our culture. And with that, Katie, with my voice this morning, I'm going to turn the show back to you, over to you and Chris, to lead us through the rest of the day. So welcome all.
Yes, thank you. And welcome, everybody. We're so dang excited to be in business with you and have you learn and grow with us at the Experience Brokerage Network. So thank you for being here. We have a lot going on in the Experience Brokerage Network. So I want to take a couple minutes and just talk through a couple things to put on your radar as we go through the rest of September and into the fourth quarter. We're not slowing down. So the first thing is next week. So next Wednesday, if you've been tuning in to the Growth Day webinars with Chris and Brendan, the next one in the series will be next Wednesday at 11 a.m. So we are going to send out the
Thursday.
link. Oops. Next
Thursday. The date's right. The actual date is right on the slide, but it's a Thursday.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Clearly, I'm wanting to get to the webinar really quickly. So next Thursday at 11 a.m. is the next Growth Day webinar. We will get the link to this out in the recap of the State of the Industry, but I just wanted to put it on your radar and make sure that you have it on your calendar, because these are such amazing webinars and we're excited to be able to bring it to our network. So mark your calendars. The next thing, you guys should all know about this, and if you don't, it's not too late. Something that we are doing in the Experience Brokerage Network across the entire state of Oregon is hosting an open house extravaganza. And the goal here is that as we head into the fourth quarter and we're ramping up our businesses for the end of the year, that we're showing our communities in the state of Oregon how much market share we truly have. So if you have a listing, if you want a listing, or if you are looking for more business, reach out to your local leadership team, as on September 30th, our goal is to hold open every single listing that we have across the entire state. So I know that in your all partners meetings and your team meetings and in your weekly emails, you've been getting information about this, but we're super excited. As others might be slowing down in the fourth quarter, we're not. We're going to ramp up. So I hope that you participate. If you need a listing, if you don't have one, reach out to your leadership team, as they will have a list of available listings to hold open. If you have more than one and you would like someone to hold one of your open houses or one of your listings open, let your leadership team know so we can play matchmaker and make sure that we are truly showing off our Keller Williams market share. Okay. Any questions on that one? Good. Awesome. Okay. And October 1st means that it's the start of our fourth quarter takeover. If this is your first year with the Experience Brokerage Network, another thing we do to ramp up our businesses in the fourth quarter is we do a friendly competition. And what this is a competition across or in each market center, as well as across the network. And so every listing that you take from October 1st to December 31st, we are going to start creating a leaderboard. And you'll see this in our weekly network emails and in your market centers with a big red door. We want to have a healthy competition and to show off or to raise the bar and help each other take more listings in the fourth quarter. So the way it works is you enter your listing information, and command is how you become eligible to rank in this competition or have your listing count towards the competition. And by category, so there will be a rookie category, a solo agent category, a team category, and a group category. We are going to, on a weekly basis, track our leaders, so you can see who's taking more listings, who you should be talking about if you are talking to if you want more listings, and bring in a lot of training around listings in the fourth quarter. So get ready. Your local leadership team is going to show off your door in your market center. Your local leadership team is going to get you information about this. But I just wanted to put it on your radar that if you're in conversations with potential sellers, tell them you need to go on the market starting October 1st, so you can have the most listings and win this competition. Prizes to be determined. Okay. And then also in October, I'm telling you guys, we have got a full month coming up. We are hosting, it's business planning season. It's time to get ready for 2024. So mark your calendars, October 26th. In Portland, actually in Hillsborough, we have the amazing Debbie Grote flying in. She's going to be here live in person to do a business planning clinic. So if you are ready or you want to create a business plan, which you all should, start thinking about what your goals are. So on October 26th, you can join us to attend business planning clinic. And again, we will get you I'll put the link to this in the chat, and we'll also get it in the wrap up email, but you'll want to attend this. This is how you're going to set yourself up for success in 2024. Gosh, can you believe it's 2024? Okay. And 2 days prior to business planning clinic, if you have ever taught an Ignite class, hosted a mastermind, been in a mastermind, want to be an instructor, want to get better at your presentation skills, we have Zach Younger coming to Portland to do Train the Presenter, where you're going to learn the nuances of how to be an amazing instructor and an amazing presenter, whether it's on Zoom or in person. This is one of the best classes to up your skills. And so if you have any aspirations to be an instructor or a presenter, then I highly recommend attending this to start the path to refining your skills in those areas. Okay, I think those are all of my announcements. I hope you guys got all those slides. We'll get them, or all those dates, we'll get them to you in the wrap up as well as the links, but we've got an abundant fourth quarter coming. So we're excited and we hope you join us. Now, our next thing, I want to bring on Jesse and Mike, as we have been behind the scenes working on something kind of fun and special for the Experience Brokerage Network. And I want these guys to talk a little bit about what that is. So Jesse and Mike, are you guys here?
Absolutely.
Yay.
Hello, everyone.
Again, my friend.
Most of you know me already if you've seen me. I guess the 26 new people, welcome to the Experience Network. We've been working with this team for a while, and you have landed in the right place. I am so excited about what's coming. And, you know, Katie said it best, as people are kind of lamenting the market and slowing down across the country, your team is on fire, and I absolutely love it. So with me today, Michael, I see you out there.
Hello, everyone.
Many of you know Mike Popno. He is absolutely one of the best loan officers, mortgage originators, financial consultants I've ever met. And he is going to be, I guess the announcement is that we've entered into our formal engagement with the Experience, I should skip the announcement, with the Experience Mortgage Network. So you're going to see more of us, and our objective is to increase your leverage. Hopefully most of you are receiving our Monday market spotlights today. That's just one small example. We jump on and talk about the market. We have recently, the other big announcement is that we have recently acquired Envoy Mortgage. We closed on August 1st, which is very, very exciting for us. So now we have, you've seen me around for a while, but now we have a mortgage bank that is our own, which gives us a lot of flexibility to do wonderful things and provide tools, resources you need on the financing side to close more buyers and sellers. That's the idea here, right? Any mortgage relationship needs to be additive to your business. And that is truly our focus. So one example of what we've done just since we closed on August 1st is we rolled out a new called non-QM, alternative lending products. And since we've announced this, we've taken quite a few locks. The big highlight, there's two highlights. Number one, self-employed borrowers, bank statement loans, a lot of the products you need to serve your self-employed borrowers. And oh, by the way, serve yourselves as well, right? As real estate agents, you're all self-employed. So we have a full product suite that we've rolled out, all branded Envoy. They're our own products, which is great. So for you and your clients, you'll have access to those. We also have a wonderful product called a DSCR loan. It's basically a debt service loan for investors. So when you have an investor or you're in your database working with your sphere of influence, it is a phenomenal time right now as the market softens just a little bit, which I think Chris is going to talk about here shortly. Institutional investors have stepped back. What a great opportunity to buy your first, second, third, fourth investment property. So we have a product that will allow you, and this product exists in the market. It's not especially unique, but we have a very high quality product that gets closed very quickly that we fund in our own name that will allow you to use your rents to close. So for us going forward, we're going to continue showing up big. Mike is going to be in your office on a very regular basis there in Portland. And we are going to begin to expand our lending footprint and serve more of you, right? Our objective is to make sure that we provide the absolute best mortgage experience for your clients so you continue to drive business through your sphere of influence and leverage. What can we do to help you close more buyers, close more sellers, and combination of the right product, the kind of ticket to the game, but also strategies, as evidenced by our spotlight. Okay. I think the lights were just dimmed on me there.
That wasn't
Michael,
me cutting you off. I'm sorry.
That was perfect. Curtain pull. I just wanted to say in agreement or in alignment with Jesse, my goal and Envoy's goal is to be tactical and help you. My job is on the ground, right? So working with clients directly. And I think right now, as you would likely agree, whether they're buyers or sellers, they need information, they need the right information, and they need it explained to them at the right time. And I feel like that's the biggest part of a mortgage advisor's job right now, is having these big conversations, identifying their motivation, identifying their objections, and helping use the data of what's going on in the market, what's going on with mortgage products, what the forecast is to help them make smart decisions. And so that's a big part of what I want to help you and your clients with. So reach out anytime. And as Jesse mentioned, we have a big team. So we'll continue to scale and grow to meet the needs so that we can be responsive, be quick, and do a great job for you and your clients. So that's our goal. So thanks for letting us be here today and present. And I look forward to meeting all of you that I haven't met before.
Thank you. Mike and Jesse, will you guys put your contact information in the chat? So if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can. And like Mike said, he is local to us. So if you want to meet with him, or if you want to see him, he comes into Sunset. So he is here. And thank you guys, because we've had many conversations and we are super excited for this partnership and for the opportunity to bring what you guys are doing to the Experience Brokerage Network. So thank you. Okay, well, I accidentally teased it, but Chris, do you want to intro our next speaker?
Yeah, certainly. So obviously we're thrilled about the Envoy acquisition, and with that we get back into business with our favorite lender, Mike Popino. Thanks for showing up, Mike, and staying in relationship with so many of our agents actually over through the years. So this won't be new for many of you, and for some of you, you'll get exposed to one of the best lenders in the industry. So excited to have you, Mike. And with that, we're going to move forward into our main agenda today. I was actually in Phoenix, obviously last week and the week before, preparing for an event with one of my partners, business partners, and co-founders at Forward Coaching, Debbie, and just talking a little bit about where the industry is, where our agents are, where our mindsets are. And I'll share, I've had the unique benefit to be able to be mentored and coached by Debbie personally for many years. And I was talking to Debbie and I said, many Debbie won't have the ability or the time or maybe the commitment right now to hire a coach, a forward coach. Although we believe everyone should have one, we know that doesn't fall into everyone's plan at this very moment, and we're growing into that, and we're gonna get there. But I said, Debbie, I would love for you to sort of develop a segment for us to kind of take people through what you've taken me through personally. How do we figure out the puzzle, which is each of us, right? We all have our unique personalities, we have our strengths, we all have our unique weaknesses, and sometimes we find ourselves sort of hitting our head against the wall of what is real estate and what is building a business, and other times we feel like, man, the path is just poured for us. Why do we feel that way at times? How do we lean into our strengths, determine what activities would coincide with where our strengths are, maybe where we have to level up some of our weaknesses. And I just asked Debbie to put together a pretty specific and unique program for this group at our brokerages called Your Custom Path to Success. Now, you're going to get to experience Debbie a few times between now and our business planning clinic in October. And I hope we have as darn close to 100% participation at the business planning clinic in the brokerage network as possible, right? Like, we should recognize that we have brought in one of the top real estate coaches in the country, has done over 100, how many thousands of hours, Debbie, of coaching calls, and how many hundreds of business planning clinics.
We stopped counting at over 100,000 coaching sessions. So yeah.
So ridiculous.
It
just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh that you've done that many, but understand that we have the ability and just a situation to be in business with someone at the caliber of Debbie's level, to come in here, gift her time to us. So please, with that, sort of pay attention, plug in, use the chat, ask questions. We'll monitor that as well. But I'm going to turn the next 40 minutes over strictly to Debbie. I'm going to sort of zone out and listen and pay attention. And we're going to let you experience Debbie's sort of style of bringing us through this custom path to success specific to ourselves. Thank you, Debbie, for being here.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be with you guys. We're going to pop the slides up here in just a second. And I think the reason we thought, Chris and I talked a little bit backstage at Built How, why would this be such a great topic for you guys today? Because we know that soon we're going to be working on your can we believe it? 2024 business plan.
No.
And it's insane. It's going to be here before we know it. So this is almost the precursor to that business planning workshop, because that's going to be very tactical and very numbers based, where today we really wanted to make this more about you and how to create your own custom blueprint to success. I'm sorry, my mouse is going crazy here. So as Chris mentioned, I've known Ben and Chris for quite some time. I started selling real estate at the age of 18. And I sold for 16 years here in LA and Orange County. And I was very fortunate to do what you've all done, which is I happened to choose a great broker who is very proactive in guiding, mentoring, training, providing great people around to help me. And thanks to that, I was able to close over 3,000 transactions as my personal production. And, 22 years now of coaching some of the brightest and best in the industry. And, there's lots of different types of coaching out there. And I always say to people, find what works for you. However, after 22 years, so I've ran 2 major coaching companies. And then for the last 13 years, I've had my own here at Forward. I've learned something, and that's when the coaching, when your blueprint, when your business plan really leans into who you are and what you do best, it is super, super successful. So what I'd love to do is give you a couple of free gifts as we get started. So I want to give you a copy of our coaching needs analysis. So what is this document? And I just want to tell you guys right up front, this is nothing today about trying to sell you into coaching, right? These are just gifts and tools for you. But what I wanted to share with you is if you were coming to me today saying, Debbie, I think I might need a coach, what would be the information I would want to learn and understand about you? And that would be that coaching needs analysis. So I want you to really take a moment this week and do that for yourself. Now, if you'd like to share it with your leadership team, absolutely. But I think it will help you start to crystallize some thoughts about your business that will be the get you ready for the business planning portion. So you'll notice on the coaching needs analysis, it'll ask you things like, what is your vision for your business in the next 3 to 5 years? Because you see, one of the things, even though you may not have a perfect plan, but I think is really cool, is if you have an idea of where you want to go, now the path, the blueprint, the business plan, it's that road to get you there. So I want you to do that needs analysis for yourself. Share it with Chris, share it with your leaders there at your company, but just really be thinking about, what do I do well? What are my key sources of business? Where do I want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? So it's fun. It's not hard, super easy, but it'll get your mind going as you start to think about your plan. And then the DISC assessment. So Chris, I don't know, do you know if many of your agents have taken the DISC? Is that something they've all done?
Yeah, many, if not all, almost all of them.
Okay, good. So if you've already taken it, you do not need to take it again. Unless you can't find it, you don't know where it is, and you want to take it again, you're more than welcome. And there's a reason why I think that's important. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So it's because you're unique. And so again, doesn't it make sense that when you're unique, your success blueprint should be custom tailored to who you are? And Chris did make me think of something where, I thought, well, we should address the fact that of course we're all going to have to embrace things that are not perfectly comfortable for us. We're all going to have to do things to grow our business that are not super easy. And yet when we really think about who we are and how that's impacting our success with those activities, it creates a lot of aha moments and a lot of opportunity. So if we think about your personality, so for example, I am a 99D, so I'm a very high driver, which means I'm a little more likely to be comfortable embracing things like circle prospecting, calling expireds, knocking on doors, where if you happen to be a very, very high S personality, you're going to gravitate more towards warmer relationships. Well, of course, I have to do things to build warmer relationships, even if that's not my favorite go-to. You have to do some things that will put you in front of strangers. And yet, as you're crafting that blueprint for the new year, if you consider the opportunities that your market's presenting, that really allows you to lean into who you are, you know what? You're just more likely to stick with it and to build that path for the next 3 to 5 years of something that you really enjoy. So I want you to ask yourself this question, and then we'll talk more about it when we all get together. But for you to feel really good about yourself and your business, I want you to think about, what do you really need to accomplish by the end of the year? You know, for years I've said to our coaching clients, please remember, the holidays do not begin on Halloween. And yet much of the real estate world, when we get to Halloween, they kind of tune out and say, yeah, well, I'm going to just chill, I'm going to rest, and I'll get started in the new year. And yet we all know that business runs in like 90-day cycles. So if they don't work between Halloween and the new year, they are going to spend the first 90 days digging out of that ditch. And we do not want that for you guys. Now, of course, you know, Chris is a big fan of you having a great life. I love his talk on experiential living. So I'm not saying don't have some fun on the holidays, but create a plan for the end of the year. How many days are you going to work? What are the activities you're going to do? And what are the gaps right now in the current sources of your business that if you corrected them, you could extract more? So this is a good time to start thinking about that overhaul. You know, some of us know Fred said, maybe you guys have met Fred on webinars and at events. He's a great guy here at, you know, KW in Orange County. I love Fred, Mr. Energy. And Fred and I were at an event together. And I made a statement that I've often made from stage. It's kind of a bold statement. I said that as a coach, I don't care how well you do at any activity that you do really well, I can always dig in there and find a gap. And the good news about that is if we find those gaps and we fix them, it's like explosive, right? You just get more business right away because that's a source you're good at. And I said, in fact, I will take a volunteer from the audience to see if I can find a gap. And of course, Fred, he loves to be on stage. He jumped right up there. And Fred started taking us through his plan for his sphere of influence. And it was, guys, it was really good. Like he's telling me how he mails and emails and the events they do and the texting they do. And I'm like, gee, maybe this is going to be the first time I can't find a gap. But at the end of listening to all of that, I said, Fred, wait a minute. I didn't hear you say that you call them. Well, yeah, that's the one thing we don't do that we should. Great news is he promptly went out, put a plan in place. They started methodically calling the sphere, instantly extracted more business and referrals. So the bad news is no matter what you do that you do well, there are gaps. The good news is that presents extra opportunity. So this is a good time to do an assessment of that and say, what am I missing? Where do I need to fine tune and clean up those things I already do? So that's where what we look at. When you come to us for coaching, I would say, let's fix those gaps first, because it's going to create the best return for you quickly. So then here's the next thing. If you and I were talking today, I would ask you, what are you avoiding? So what are you avoiding? But you know in your heart, if you just did it, it would create transactions. So for some of you, it might be, well, I should get out and knock some doors in my geographic farm, or I should be holding more open houses right now. But, I got a little burnout on them. But what is it that you're avoiding? If you just did it, it would create transactions. And often the guilt and the anxiousness that is around avoiding it is actually a lot more difficult than just doing it, right? So think about for the rest of this year to have a strong finish and prepare for the year ahead. Stop avoiding those things that you know will create business for you. And then it's a good time to look at what are the opportunities that your market is presenting that you should be taking advantage of. You've all heard Chris talk a lot about the lead gen levers. I guess I would say he and I are pretty obsessed with the fact that you should all have 5 or 6 quality lead generation levers. In my mind, I kind of think of that like a wheel. If I have 1 or 2 that I do consistently, maybe it's open house and my sphere, or maybe it's my sphere and I work expireds. But if I have one or two I do, it's not going to roll along as smoothly as if I have 5 or 6. Because in a constricted market with fewer transactions, it's even more important right now to have extra lead generation levers, more important than it's probably been for years. And it's going to serve you well, because when this market opens up in a much bigger way, which probably will be 2025, and it's going to explode for you. If you have those lead gen levers, you're maximizing opportunity inside of each one of them, you won't even believe what can happen in your business. So it's normal. Most agents that come to us for coaching have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 things that they do. So I encourage them, fix the gaps in those, and then go on to add a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, even a 6th lead generation lever. Because here's the thing we know. If we wait for business to come to us organically, it's just not going to allow you to build a business that you can scale. And a lot of the world of real estate really does exactly that. They do a good job. People like them. They're out and about in their community. All of that is good. And then they just wait. They just wait for people to call. Well, it's really difficult if there's not a systematic approach to building your business, to marketing yourself, to working out there. And I always say there's more people in the world you don't know than people you do. And once in a while, you need to talk to them, right? You need to meet some new people. But if we just wait, you're going to have good months and you're going to have bad months. And to me, that is probably the worst thing about the real estate business or any sales business, is that up and down cycle. How do you smooth that out? You got to have those lead gen levers. So minimum of 5 or 6, going back and thinking about your personality. Hey, I'm a high DI. I love to be out. I love to meet people. Great. Then one of your lead gen levers, what groups can you get in front of? Should you create your own networking group? Should you be doing some educational events, with your lender partner out in the community? So find your lead gen levers that really work well for your personality, and you're going to be a lot more likely to do it. So you may have 1 or 2, the people plus 1. It's just not enough, right? It's just not enough, especially in our market today. And also, if you have a goal to build a highly profitable team now or in the future, you're going to need to have those multiple stream of leads in order to fill them. And I'm sure you've all seen the circle here. And these are just a few of the many, many options and opportunities. I think one of my favorite things that I have borrowed from Chris is his 6 Ps. And I'm sure you guys have heard this. Sometimes we just need to be reminded. And the reason I feel this is valuable is when you pick that lead generation lever that's going to become part of your blueprint and your business plan, we can just lay this template right on top of it. So for example, let's pick networking. Let's say networking is something you've decided to do. Okay, what's my mindset around this? Limiting beliefs. Where am I hesitating? What do I need to do to get my head in the game before I go and do that event? What's my pre-networking event preparation? What's my process and promotion as I'm there at the event that's appropriate? I think of performance as my script, my approach, how I engage, how I interact. And then the post activity, what actions will I need to take? What campaigns will I need to put into place to nurture those people that I met at that event? Because here's what can happen to us if we're not careful. You feel motivated, you go do something great and you do a great job and you get an awesome result, but then you forget to do it again. Or you forget to have this duplicatable process that when you do it again, now you can overlay that process, which then allows you to tweak, adjust, and improve, right? Until that's just running like a well-oiled machine. Flying by the seat of your pants in this business used to work better than it does today, and than it will in the future, right? So we just all have to be much more strategic. So this is a great thing to ask yourself in the last month of the year. What bad habits do I need to break in order to have the future business I deserve? You know, I did something the other day. I was figuring out for someone who said, I just don't seem to have time to call my 5 sphere of influence a day. And I said, well, what time are you getting to the office? And he said, 9 o'clock. I said, okay, just a question for you. What if you got there 30 minutes earlier? And since that's kind of a bonus 30 minutes, because you're not usually there at 8:30, that's when you called your sphere. I said, let's do the math on in a calendar year. What does that look like? And when we figured it out, just by getting to work 30 minutes earlier on the business days that they worked, it was almost like adding actually 4.4 weeks to their year. See, just that small habit of not sleeping in that extra 30 minutes, which is what was happening, hitting snooze on the alarm, and instead getting up and using that 30 minutes, it was like adding 4.5 weeks in a year of calling the sphere. Gosh, you think that might make a difference, right? You know, other bad habits might be, you know, giving up too easily on a tough day. You know, I'm just going to go home. This day has been too hard. Or, you know, I don't know if I feel like practicing my scripts today. Or maybe, you know, I'm just going to stay up really, really late, and then I don't feel like getting up in the morning, right? And I think it's James Clear, you know, his book on habits that I love so much, that talks about the really small things compound over time in a good or a bad way, right? And Brendan, I know, spends a lot of time talking about habits. So what new habits do you need to break? It should say create. Sorry, guys, typo after Built How. What new habits do you need to create in order to have the business you deserve? And then what accountability do you need to master to achieve the goals in your dreams? You know, none of us are born accountable. We did a session on accountability at Built How, and it was a good session because I think it was a reminder that it takes a village to be successful. You know, it takes Chris, it takes Katie, it takes Leslie, it takes your team behind you. It takes the great agents that are sitting next to you and prospecting when you do. And sometimes it's, you know, your family and your friends who believe in you and sharing your goals with them. The more accountability you can create around the things you want to achieve, the more likely you will be to have those dreams and that success you deserve. But accountability is painful, right? It's not always fun to do the work. I remember complaining once to my broker that this lead generation is just hard. I don't feel like doing it. And he said, well, gosh, if it were fun, it'd be called vacation. That's why it's called work. But you know, he was my great accountability partner. So find those partners, whether it's hiring a coach, we'd be happy to help you, whether it's spending more time with your current team that you have there at the office. And I would say a little note of caution though, as you create your business plan with us, coming soon in a few weeks, I would then also be mindful, am I sharing this plan with positive people who support me. You know, there's a story about crabs in a bucket, that you can put a bunch of crabs in the bucket and that nobody will ever get out of the bucket, because as soon as one crab nears the top, the other crabs pull them back down. So who are the crabs in your bucket, right? And it might be people you love. You know, my father-in-law, who's passed away at the old age of 98, so he had a great life, but he passed away a couple of years ago. And I remember, you know, being a newer agent and telling him about my goals. And he was had been a farmer and then a truck driver, and he lived through the Depression. So he's kind of the half-empty glass guy, wonderful man, but just never set those goals, right? Never had those kinds of thoughts. And I remember sharing my goals with him, and he said, yeah, that won't happen. You know, you'll probably end up washing out of the real estate business. Guys, he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just not the right person for me to create accountability with or share my goals with. So find those good people and find those accountability systems that you need to put in place to ensure you're on track. You know, one of our coaching clients does amazing. She sells a ton of property and she has 5 kids. And they range in age from about 4 on up, I think, to about 15. And she recently put an accountability plan in action around her daily contacts and conversations. So they made a little chart. They put it on the fridge in the garage. She got a box of gold stars. She said, every day that I come home, if I've made my 20 contacts, then you get to put a gold star on the chart. And at the end of the month, if we have all the gold stars I'm supposed to have, then we're going to take a day off and we're going to all go to Disneyland and spend the entire day having fun. She said, you know, Debbie, it's the best accountability and the worst accountability, because she said, I don't want to let my kids down. And I drive in the garage and there they are, lined up by the fridge, gold stars in hand, ready to put that star on the chart. So whatever works, right? Because different accountability systems work for different people. So at our business planning clinic, we will work through the tactics. We're going to work through the numbers. We're going to work through if it's a lead generation lever that is very important to you. How do you create those really specific actions? And I think of it as someone said to me yesterday, I'm going to call my sphere more. I said, great. How many per day? What time of day? How many days of the week? And what is your script going to be? And what is the outcome you're expecting? So we're going to help you when we get together in this business planning clinic, leave with such a clear plan. So over the next couple of weeks, I just want you to be thinking about, what do you really want from this business? You know, we've all gotten a little bit beat up this year. Hasn't been the easiest, but there was a dream that you had when you got into this business. And we don't want to let lack of action or wrong strategy or bad habits stop you from having what you deserve. So spend the next few weeks. Think about, what is your dream? Think about, where are those gaps in the business that you need to tighten up and correct? What are the lead generation levers you're avoiding? If we just create a plan for it in that business planning clinic, it'll make it easy for you just to show up and do the work. And then think ahead. What do I want for the next 3 to 5 years? And, you know, our business partner, Ben Kinney, said something on a webinar not too long ago. To do the work you need to do, yep, there is some pain in that. And yet to not do the work and not have the success and income you deserve, there is some pain there as well. So this is the moment, right? This is the moment. Choose your pain. So I want to see you on December 31st. So excited about the new year. And here's what Chris and I are hoping, that when you leave the clinic with your plan in hand on October 26th, that's going to give you a couple of months to really do a dress rehearsal, right? Like, I would love you to walk out of there on October 26th thinking, Happy New Year. Because truly, a lot of what you do in November and December, those fruits are going to come in January, February, and March. And if you're working your plan already and you fall off the wagon here or there, have to tweak, have to adjust, by the time you get to January 1, you are locked and loaded and good to go. So we hope you'll join us. If you haven't taken your DISC assessment, please do it. If you have taken it, please pull it out and look at it again. And then, have conversation with anyone there in the company that you need to, if you need some help and advice before we get together for our business planning clinic. So Chris, any last thoughts you would like to add here for us?
No, Debbie, I think you nailed it. I think, and I'm in the car, so I apologize for the noise now.
Okay.
Heading to an appointment, but I think one of my biggest takeaways is, obviously, as we go through that first half of your session, the second half was all about accountability to that goal, accountability to the skill, accountability to the weaknesses, and then accountability to the commitment. We're going to talk a lot about that on October 26th, once we build out our unique plan. I think what I love about your approach, Debbie, is it's not one size fits all. Right? You share a range of what we would choose to put into our individual business. We make our own non-negotiables. Someone else doesn't give those to us. And then we'll learn on October 26th how to execute towards those. So I appreciate you spending the time with us this morning to sort of prepare us.
Well, and I can't wait to see you all. So please register. Please be sure to come. We're going to do our best to get you ready for the year ahead. And I feel when there's a plan and there's clarity, there's so much power in that. It just pushes that fear away. And all you got to do is really just like show up and work that plan. So we'll look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you all for inviting me. And for those of you who were with us last week at Built How, we really appreciate you joining us there. It was a lot of fun. So I will see y'all soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Bye.
To everybody on this call, like, these were some powerful self-awareness questions, right? Like, before you come to the business planning, because you all are coming, I love Debbie that she gave us some things to ask ourselves to make us self-aware of where we're at, where our gaps are, what our personality is, what lead generation levers we could add to our business, how many do we have now, so that by the time we get to business planning clinic, we've already done all the work, all the mental work to put us in a place so that we can put a plan together. So if I were to give homework, it would be to ask yourself these questions. What are the gaps in my current sources of business that if I corrected, I could extract more business? What am I avoiding that if I just did it, I know it would create transactions? Like, what are your answers to these questions? Come prepared with the answers to Business Planning Clinic so that we can have really powerful plans in place going into 2024. And with that, thank you guys so much for being here. Jesse and Mike, thank you so much for being on the call and being our new partners in business. We're excited for more to come with that. We will get you guys a wrap-up email in the next 24 hours, so you have all of these links and resources, and we will see you again next month. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.